Welcome to Hot Shots Pod. I'm your host, Justin Kuntz. I'm joined here with Baxx and Pierson. And today we are going to be kicking it off with some NFL hot takes. Our hosts here will make a wager, and if they are correct, the other host will take a shot of hot sauce. It's going to get real exciting. Let's kick it off. Boys, let's talk about last night's game. Jets and Patriots. Jets dominated. I want to hear your thoughts.
I mean, Aaron Rodgers, he looked great. He looked like he looked before he was hurt. I mean, there's nothing wrong with his game last night. Yeah. I thought they did great. I think it does scare me about Breece Hall with the fantasy owners out there. You know, Allen's taking snaps and stuff. He does look good, too.
Yeah, kind of just bounce off what he's saying. Aaron Rodgers looked phenomenal out there. He was making plays, and he really just looked like his former self, like before the injury. And he was really just getting the ball in tight windows and stuff and just surveying the field and just being a field general out there.
Oh, yeah, he looked real mobile, back to his old self. I got to agree with that.
I mean, he was everywhere out of the pocket. You couldn't catch him. And, I mean, the Patriots, of course, there's really nothing much to say about them. They're not very great. Nothing really hopeful of there. Stevenson barely got the ball. I don't really know what they're doing, honestly.
Their quarterback situation, they got Jacoby Brissett out there. He wasn't doing very good. And then they brought in Drake May. He was okay.
All right, boys. Looks like we have a caller on the line. Let's switch it over to him.
Teddy.
Hey, Teddy, how you doing today?
Hey, what's up? I'm doing good. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Got a question for us, Teddy?
Yeah, I got a question for you.
Go ahead. Let's hear it.
Do you think that the Baltimore Ravens are going to make the playoffs this year?
Ooh, that's a good one.
It's a very good question.
Before the season started, I would have said that is a dumb question, but now at this point, who really knows what's going to happen? I could see him making it, but barely. You know, maybe wild card.
Wild card?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to make that shit.
Yeah, what did you think about the Jets game last night, Teddy?
You know, I thought they looked okay. You know, they're fine. You know what I'm saying? The Patriots are horrible.
Sure.
Yeah, you can't really take much off of the Patriots' defense, but Aaron Rodgers did look good.
Yeah, I guess. You know, he looked like whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He looked
wasn't horrible, you know.
Better than the Pats.
You don't think that Aaron Rodgers was making some good throws out there?
I mean, he made a couple, you know. He also missed some. You know, he had like 4 or 5 incompletions to Garrett Wilson, you know.
Yeah, he's struggling to find Garrett Wilson. I thought the connection would be a lot better, but I could see it improving over the season.
He took like 5 reps of into the rest. Classic Aaron Rodgers, just crybaby in all game. Nothing's new. That clown.
Yeah, I see his attitude wasn't the best, but he's still there playing football and some good football, nevertheless.
Yeah, we'll see. They're going to turn on him. They're going to turn on him. We'll see.
So
we'll see what happens.
I guess you're not an Aaron Rodgers fan. So what is your NFL team?
Oh, I'm a Bears fan.
Bears
you know.
Fan, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have a question.
I don't even hate Rodgers. You know, he's just. I don't know.
I have a question for you since you're a Bears fan. Do you think that it was too rash of a decision to just go pick up Caleb Williams and then just immediately start him when Justin Fields was starting to look good with DJ Moore?
I don't know, man. I mean, Justin Fields only looked good when he was thrown to DJ Moore. You know, he's not it, man. He's not the answer. Caleb's the guy. Just wait. He's going to go off this week. 3 passing touchdowns for Caleb Williams is coming, bro.
Okay, I like the optimism.
It's clicking.
Optimism, I do. I really
very
do.
enthusiastic.
He does look good for a rookie. I mean, he looks great. There's nothing more you could really ask for.
Yeah, he's coming along. He's going to be good.
Okay, so I got to ask you something else. How much of the quarterback problem with Justin Fields was on the O-line?
The O-line is horrible. The O-line's horrendous. It's horrible. Ryan Poles needs to fix the O-line immediately. He needs to get something. He needs to call someone up because this line is awful. It's bad.
It is pretty bad. I mean, Caleb Williams had like 40-something pressures, 30 pressures against the Texans. I mean, you can't have a quarterback produce with that many pressures.
Oh, dude, he got cooked. And it's up the middle. You know, the pressure up the middle is just, it's so, like, no quarterback is good with pressure up the middle, bro. Like, they've got to fix it. They've got to fix it fast.
I completely agree with that. I really do. It's hard to perform when you don't have an O-line.
Yeah, that O-line is fun.
What did you think about the Bears' defense, though?
The Bears' defense is nice, man. Best secondary in the league. I've been saying it. Everyone's going to find out soon. We were like an inch away from a pick six. We might have won that game. So, like, it's you know, it'll keep us in it. If the offense figures it out, I mean, we might have like 5-6 losses, playoffs. If we split all our division games and win the bad games, I mean, we'll be good if the offense can figure it out fast.
Playoffs is pretty high hopes, but I could see them. I mean, their defense is just y'all's defense is unstoppable.
Outrageous.
I mean, beating the Texans after how good they've been looking is definitely a statement to be made.
Oh yeah, well our next games are like Colts, Panthers, Commanders. It's horrible.
Yeah, just another
it's a horrible
high school football teams is what they're being called right now.
Yeah, we should be like 7-2, 6-2. We'll see. We'll probably fumble one of them, but the defense is just too good.
What do you think about Odunze?
I don't know, man. I think he'll figure it out. You know, I think Jamar was looking bad. You know, I don't know. There's one where Caleb definitely missed him, but I think it's going to come along. Keenan Allen's out again this week, so like, yeah, he should get more targets.
With a wide receiver like that, I mean, with that much skill, there's no way he doesn't figure it out. I do like him.
Yeah,
he's a great wide receiver.
Yeah, I think it's like rookie jitters because he's like his contested catches and he's not, you know, he's going to be good. I think he's just got to get it together. Him and Caleb getting the connection down.
All right, Teddy. Well, thanks for calling in. We appreciate hearing from you. Hope you have a good one.
Have a good one.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for calling, Teddy.
All right, boys. It's good to hear from our fans. All right, moving on to the Week 3 games. Let's start with the Giants and the Browns. What are your thoughts on that game?
I mean, I love Malik Neighbors. I think he looks good. I think he's generational talent at this point. I mean, Daniel Jones is his quarterback, but he's still putting up numbers and producing. And the Browns' defense, where have they been all year, you know?
Yeah, I'm going to have to kind of bounce off that one. I think the Giants take this one home. Malik Neighbors, like he was saying, he's really good, especially for a rookie. He has potential to win Rookie of the Year, I think, if he has a breakout year. But Daniel Jones just has to get him the ball, and that's going to be a key factor in the game. So
yeah, and I mean the Browns' offense is just horrendous. I mean, fantasy look, do not start Browns wide receivers. I mean, Amari Cooper did great last year, but look at him now. I mean, Deshaun Watson cannot throw the ball anymore. I mean, it's brutal to watch them play.
Yeah, and at one point, Njoku was a pretty good pickup, but I mean, anyone on the Browns just.
And he's hurt too now.
Yeah,
he's got an injury to deal with.
Yeah, so I wouldn't pick anyone up off the Browns either for fantasy.
And for the Giants, I just look for Malik Neighbors. I think
anyone with that really scoring potential is someone that you want to look for.
Gotcha. Moving on, we got Bears and Colts.
This is a tough game.
I mean, it's kind of just up in there. Will Caleb Williams finally have a good game? Who knows? I mean, Odunze also has been just non-existent. They got to figure that out. You can't take that many picks high round and then not use those players.
And then the veteran receiver Keenan Allen, he's obviously hurt. So, I don't know. I mean, Anthony Richardson really hasn't performed to what everyone thought he was going to do.
He's all deep ball or run it. He has no middle passing range or short passes.
Yeah, he hasn't really developed scanning the field yet and really looking at all his options.
You can't really look too hopeful for him considering he's coming off of 3 picks from last week. I mean, that's just unbelievable numbers to put up.
That's true, but there's 2 ways to look at that. You can either say he's going to bounce back and have a really good game, or he's going to have another mediocre game.
That is true. He needs to start throwing Michael Pittman the ball, not Alec Pierce, if I'm going to be honest. They can't just have one wide receiver and then one guy running the ball. And Jonathan Taylor, I think he looks great, of course, as always.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor. I mean, if you have him on fantasy, I would keep him.
Must start every week.
Got a big one coming up now: Texans and Vikings.
Ooh, I'm definitely gonna have to take the Vikings on this one. I mean, Justin Jefferson looks great. Sam Darnold looks great. Their defense looks excellent. I mean, what more can you ask?
I'm gonna have to go Texans here. I just feel like C.J. Stroud is just going to go out there and do what he does.
You want to put some shots on that or what?
Yeah, what are you feeling?
I'll go mild. I'll go right in the middle.
You go mild?
Or hot.
I mean, I could do a mild.
Okay, let's do it. We have 1 shot.
All right.
Yeah.
Pour it? All right.
Because, I mean, how can you believe in the Texans after struggling against the Bears? And the Vikings arguably have a better defense than the Bears. I mean, Dallas Turner is a star. He's locking everyone up.
I mean, yeah, the Vikings do have a good defense, but Texans offense. I mean, you got Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs.
3 star wide receivers.
Exactly, and C.J. Stroud throwing the ball.
But where has he been all year? That's my question. Is he ever going to start throwing these deep balls? Well, what happened? I mean, end of last year and middle of last year, he was a star. Everyone was thinking he was going to be quarterback of the year this year.
It took him like 3 games this last year to really lock in. So I think this game right here, he's gonna do something.
We'll find out.
Yeah,
definitely going to be an entertaining watch. Next, we have Eagles and Saints.
I think this is going to be a good test for the Saints to see if they're really about the business that they've been doing this week. I think the Cowboys definitely are that team to randomly upset and blow out, but I feel like the Eagles are a very good foundation and they won't get blown out. I think the Eagles are going to take this one.
I'm going to have to agree on that. The Eagles. Even though the Saints have been really hot lately and they've been putting up 40 points a game. Alvin Kamara, by the way, if you have him on fantasy, start that guy.
Start every week.
He's going to put numbers up for you on the ground as well as receiving.
Yeah, I completely agree. Saquon, Alvin Kamara, all those guys. I mean, how could you not want these people on your team? They are stars.
Moving on, we got Chargers and Steelers.
I mean, J.K. Dobbins looks great, but I don't know if I'd start him this week because that Steelers defensive line is extremely good. But I'd probably have to take the Steelers on this one. They just have more to offer than the Chargers. You know, the Chargers aren't really throwing the ball. Quentin Johnson caught 4 passes. He gets no targets. They need to start airing it out more. I think that will happen this game once they realize how hard it is to run the ball against the Steelers.
I agree. I'm going to take the Steelers on this one. And I think the reason they're running the ball so much is obviously Harbaugh's back there now, and he's implementing his offensive run-heavy scheme. So, I think they're going to get better throughout the season, but I'm going to have to take the Steelers on this. They're on a hot track. They're 2-0. Justin Fields is starting to perform, and the O-line's looking good.
Justin Fields looks great. I mean, I don't really know what more you can ask for a quarterback.
And the defense is, they're very solid. You got T.J. Watt, Minka, several guys.
Now we got the Broncos and the Bucs.
Bucs all the way. Come on.
This is a no-brainer. The Bucs.
Baker looks unbelievable. I hope he keeps it up. I don't think he'll keep it up for the rest of the season, but I hope he keeps it up. Mike Evans, what is this, 8th season? He always does good.
He's putting up Hall of Fame numbers.
Always.
1,000-yard seasons every season. he's looking for another potential 1,000-yard season with a good year this year. Yeah, I mean, if you have Baker as your fantasy quarterback, I would definitely start him this week. I mean, you're playing an incompetent Broncos team. I mean, they're struggling.
Yeah, and you have Mike Evans and Chris Godwin at this point. I think you could start for sure Mike Evans, but I'd probably flex Chris Godwin. I wouldn't be too strong on him, but I still think he could put up at least 20 points.
Yeah, I'm with that. And Baker has the potential for multi-touchdown games, so.
And on the Broncos, I would not start anyone on the Broncos. They need to figure out their quarterback situation and, at this point, the running back situation.
I agree.
Now we got the Packers and the Titans.
I really did love Jordan Love, but, like, he's hurt now. You know, there's really not much to look for. The backup is doing great. He really is. But the Titans are just – they go and they pick up all these old guys, and they think they're still stars. I don't see them performing as good as the Packers do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to second that. I think Malik Willis, even though he's the backup quarterback, I think he's going to go out there and put some numbers up, and the Packers are going to get a win here.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect Will Levis to play like how he did last week and win. It's hard. I would like to see him win, though.
Yeah, and they have Tony Pollard in the backfield. If they want to win, he's going to have a phenomenal game.
Yeah.
Moving on, we got Panthers at the Raiders.
I mean, this is a no-brainer. The Panthers are by far one of the worst teams I think we'll see in a very long time.
Terrible.
And benching Bryce Young, I think that's a horrible call. I think if you're going to do anything, you need to figure out your O-line first.
Yeah, I agree completely. Raiders, I mean, they look very solid. Last week, Gardner Minshew, he threw a pick, and then he bounced back and led a game-winning drive for him. So, I mean, even though Gardner Minshew may not be the best quarterback in the league, he's still good enough that he can make you pay.
Yeah, as you can tell, you know, I'm a big Adams guy. I love Devontae Adams. I don't like Gardner Minshew. I think Adams can perform in the top 3 wide receivers if he had a good quarterback. But I do think they'll take this game just because of how bad the Panthers are.
Yeah, the Panthers are terrible. And I agree. Benching Bryce Young is a terrible decision. But, I mean, we're going to see if it's really the quarterback that's the problem or it's the O-line. And I think we're going to see that it's the O-line.
Yeah.
Dolphins, Seahawks.
Man, I mean, I loved watching the Dolphins. They were so explosive, but with Tua being hurt, it's hard to really expect much from them. I'm probably going to have to take the Seahawks. And Geno Smith did great last week. Kenneth Walker was hurt. He threw the ball like 50 times, had 50 attempts. What more can you really want from a guy?
Yeah, I'm going to have to take the Seahawks on this one. No Tua is really going to hurt the Dolphins. And, I mean, if Tyreek Hill can't get the ball deep, then they're really not going to do anything. And Waddle hasn't been performing like he has in previous years. I mean, so we're going to see the Dolphins. They still got some good running backs. A-Chain, which I think if you have him on fantasy is a good pick. He can put up some numbers.
The Dolphins just need to use Tyreek more, I feel like. Put him on some jet sweeps, make the passes easier for the quarterback, and just let Tyreek work.
Get him on some motion stuff. Yeah. Get him the ball in space. Let him work.
Let him do the work, not the quarterback.
Yeah, exactly. Agree. And Seahawks got Smith and Jigba, too. I mean, he's a good receiver.
He's good, but, I mean, I feel like the only reason he had such a good week last week is because Kenneth Walker was out and they had like 50 attempts on passing the ball.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Yeah. Next, we got Lions Cardinals. Could be a big game.
I love both these teams. I mean, I want to see both of them win, honestly. I love Jameson Williams, St. Brown, Jared Goff, Aiden Hutchins. I mean, you can't ask for a better team. Jahmyr Gibbs, come on. He's so good. The Cardinals, I don't like James Conner that much, but I do love Marvin Harrison Jr. I mean, I have him on my team. He's always starting. Kyler Murray, how do you not like that guy? You can't tackle him, you know?
Yeah, this is definitely going to be interesting when we got Kyler Murray coming off injury. Looking very explosive in his first game, you know, running around, making plays. obviously Marvin Harrison Jr. had a great game last game. By the way, if you have him on fantasy, great pickup. I would definitely keep him in your rotation. I'd probably start him this week. Don't you agree?
Him, I think you start Marvin Harrison every week, honestly. I have him and McBride, and I mean, the explosiveness on this team is just insane. I think they're both easily starts for the rest of this fantasy year.
Yeah. But I don't know. I'm expecting the Cardinals to come out and play a great game, but I think that the Lions are going to take this one.
I'm going to have to take the Cardinals. Honestly.
Do you want to wager it?
I wouldn't do anything too high here because they're both great teams. I'd probably do mild. I'll do a mild.
Okay.
I'll do a mild.
All right, we'll do. So we have two mild wagers so far.
One hotter one mild one.
So you went hot on Texans Vikings.
Yeah.
So this is hot.
Okay. Hot and mild. Perfect.
All right, we can do that. Yeah.
I'm there.
All right, now we got Ravens, Cowboys. Two hated teams.
Two teams that are just not performing like everyone thought they would. I hate the Cowboys. I don't think they're any good. I think they were good last year. I love CeeDee Lamb, but I think Dak needs to go. I really do.
Yeah, on this, I know they're both struggling right now, but I'm going to have to take the Ravens. And the Cowboys, they're not going to do anything until their front office gets it figured out. Dak being the highest paid quarterback with that contract is absurd. I mean, he's not Mahomes. He's maybe arguably not even top 10.
Ooh, I'd give him like 8.
Regular season Dak. 8.
Regular season.
Playoffs Dak.
Throwing him like 15.
Yeah, playoff Dak, not it.
Yeah. And Zay Flowers looks good. Likely didn't have a good week last week, but he still looks good. Mark Andrews looks good. Derrick Henry is an interesting case, especially in like the fantasy aspect, because it's like you expect him to produce like he does, but with all the different options that team has, I feel like he's just not.
He's not going to get the same amount of carries as the Titans.
And Lamar can run the ball too. So why would you not just do that instead and use Derrick Henry as a blocker? He's a big guy.
I think the Ravens will pull this one out, and semi-close game.
It will be. It'll be a good game.
Definitely watch it.
Chiefs, Falcons.
Falcons all the way. Wow. I do not like the Chiefs.
Oh, do you want to place another wager?
I'll put a pretty hot wager on that.
You want to go extreme?
I wouldn't do extreme, but I'll do magma.
Oh,
shoot. Is this magma?
This is magma here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because, I mean,
clear on the end.
Kirk O'Chains with that final drive, he looks like he's getting back into shape. The Falcons' defense is good. I mean, what more do you really want from a team? The Chiefs, Isaac Pacheco's done. They're going to have to force Patrick Mahomes to air it out more. He's been just relying on just running the ball. That's all they've done all season.
I mean, I think it's very scary that we have a Chiefs team that's starting out 2-0. Last season, Chiefs started off very mediocre. They didn't play very good the first couple of weeks, and they got it figured out. And Mahomes has so many weapons. I think that Pacheco being out is not even going to be a factor in this game. I mean, they have Tyreek Hill. I mean, not Tyreek Hill. Excuse me. They have the new Tyreek Hill, Xavier Worthy, which is a new he's just their new Tyreek Hill, basically. He's the dog. And they're going to use him a lot. I'm expecting Mahomes to go out there and win.
Where's Travis Kelce been, though?
Mm-hmm.
Where has Travis Kelce been all year?
Travis Kelce hasn't had the best year, but I think he'll get it figured out in the coming weeks.
Jaguars, Bills.
I mean, the Jags just look like a joke. They really do. I love Brian Thomas Jr. I think he's a great asset to that team, but Trevor Lawrence has to figure his situation out. There's something wrong right now, and I don't see him winning that game.
Yeah, it's just no-brainer. Bills. Josh Allen and Keon Coleman. I mean, Keon Coleman, he's a rookie receiver. I think he has tremendous upside. I think getting rid of Stephon for him is a reasonable. I mean, I don't think it's going to come and bite the Bills.
I will say with Keon Coleman at this point, he's really done nothing, but I do agree with the upside. So if you do have him in your league, definitely stash him or go trade low for him because I could see him having a few good games in the up-and-coming weeks. They're going to have to throw the ball soon. James Cook can't do everything. He's not a big guy.
And, I mean, the Jags defense, I think they're just going to tear it up. So if you do have him in fantasy, I would think about putting him in your lineup considering
Definitely
your other
start
players.
James Cook.
Yeah.
Definitely start James Cook.
Yeah.
I'd monitor Keon Coleman.
For sure.
Finally wrapping up week 3, we got Commanders and Bengals.
This is
Joe Burrow doing?
This is a hard one, guys.
I mean, I don't think it's a hard one, and I do think the Bengals are going to have a great game because, I mean, the Washington secondary is just not even there. They don't even exist. But, like, where has Joe Burrow been? Jamar Chase, like, what? These guys are supposed to be the stars of the year,
franchise guys.
And now they're just not here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Jaden Daniels, I like that guy. Obviously, I think he has potential to win Rookie of the Year if he has a good year. But the Commanders, I mean, they're growing still. They're still I think they're underdeveloped in some positions, but they do have the potential to go out there and play with almost anyone and make it competitive. But I don't know, man. This is a hard one. I think the Bengals will get it figured out in this game, though, and I'm expecting Joe Burrow to have a good game and Jamar Chase as well.
Yeah, I think it's a no-brainer with them. Their run game isn't very great. Zach Moss kind of hasn't been doing much this year. I dropped him in my league because, I mean, I could see the passing offense really explode. And Jaden Daniels, like you said, I do think he's great, but he needs to throw the ball more.
Yeah.
He needs to throw the ball way more.
Yeah, he's still inexperienced, and I think he's gonna learn that stuff when he starts playing more.
I agree with that.
All right. I heard some fantasy opinions sprinkled throughout there, but we are moving on to our fantasy section here. So I want to know what players to start, what players to bench. You know, what are your thoughts, positions?
I mean, I think for wide receivers, you have your no-brainers like CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase, Tyreek Hill at this point, even though
Justin Jefferson.
Quarterback, Justin Jefferson. Even though Tyreek Hill has that quarterback situation, I still think he's too good not to start.
And also, I mean, looking at the Eagles here, I think if you have Devontae Smith.
Yeah, if A.J.
Brown's out still, so Devontae Smith's going to be getting way more targets. I think that could be a potential that you start.
I think some sleepers for the week are going to be like Jameson Williams. I think he could have an explosive game. I mean, he's been just absolutely feeding on the touches of the ball and stuff.
Yeah, also
implementing him a lot more.
The same game. I think another sleeper could be Kyler Murray. I think he could put up some big numbers here. I think even if they lose, he'll still put up some points.
Yeah, I think I was trying to get him in my league, and I couldn't get him. He's too valuable right now. I think he could be a top 5 wide receiver quarterback for the rest of the year.
He's looking very good, very good.
You know, I've got a question about fantasy. I've got Kupp and Pacheco on one of my teams. You know, they're both hurt. What does a guy like me do in a position like that?
I think it all comes down to, like, what is your record right now? Because I drafted CMC. I'm 0-2. I lost by, like, 6 points last week. Absolutely heartbreaking. The Eagles game just killed me. Yeah. But I think it comes down to where you're at in your league. If you feel like you can hold on to those injured players like CMC, Puka, Kupp, all of them, then hold on to them. Otherwise, I'd go trade them for some lower round value, but more depth. You know, like I trade CMC for Kyron Williams, J.K. Dobbins, and Jaden Daniels, and I thought that was a pretty beneficial trade for me just to get something going now, you know?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. I think you got to have at least something that could be going for you potentially, because if your players are hurt, I mean, you aren't going to have any results.
It all comes down to making the playoffs in fantasy. I mean, if you're not in the playoffs, you're not there.
Yeah,
That's
done.
it. Your league's done. So it really just comes down to making the playoffs, and then what are those players having their matchups that week.
Who do you have at quarterback?
I got Hurts on one of my leagues, and then I got Mahomes.
I got Mahomes, and he hasn't been doing much. That's why I went and got Jaden Daniels, just in case he has another off week. I mean, it's not even his fault, really. Can't really say off week, but the Chiefs just run.
They've been running the ball. Yeah, they haven't really been challenged.
And they have allegedly the best quarterback of almost all time. I mean, some people are talking about him having a Tom Brady legacy career, and it's like, how's he going to do that if they're just running the ball downfield?
Yeah. I just say I don't think Mahomes has really been challenged to air it out yet.
That is true.
I mean, he did play a really good Ravens team, but I mean, he was throwing it when he had to, and they were running the ball a lot still. So
I agree. I mean, if it is working, why not just keep doing it?
yeah.
On today's episode, we had a hot take with Pierson taking the Vikings over the Texans. We had a mild take with Baxx taking the Lions over the Cardinals, and a magma wager with Pierson taking the Falcons over the Chiefs. We appreciate you guys spending the time and watching us today. If you have any fantasy questions, make sure you check our poll in the Instagram and X. Our link is in our bios. And watch us on YouTube or tune in on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Make sure to like and subscribe, and let us know your thoughts in the comments.
That was solid.
That worked?
Solid.
Beautiful.
Solid.
It's a wrap.
That's a big